Going live. I'm live. Ah, welcome all. Welcome all. Only one chat roll. Two. Chat rolls. Chat rolls. Please be. Please. ASB over the age of 17 and be kind to one another. There we go. Hello. Happy Sunday. Hi, everybody. It's Christine, and I am here. I am sorry I am late popping out of chat and talking my way through the process of setting up my screen so that I can see what's going on. Happy Sunday, Daryl Lynn. And thank you, honey, for your purchase this week. What a nice thing. And hello, Kim. Oh, good to see you, honey. I haven't seen you since what? A couple days ago. 3 days ago. I've lost complete track. Excuse me. Hang on. Pardon me while I choked it up for a second. Oh, well, that'll do what it's going to do. Anyway, hi, everybody. How are you? And I've been having a heck of a week. I'll tell you what, it's exhausting not having an opinion about anything. I tried to have an opinion about something earlier this week, and I got nailed. So I pulled my share and my opinion, and I got out of Dodge. Anyway, yeah. Oh, hi, Jill. Oh, happy Sunday, everybody. And I have a happy mail, and I need to have somebody fess up. But we'll get to that in just a second. Oops, I'm crooked. I'm always crooked. What? The opinions? Yes, I appear to be the only person in the world who is not actually allowed to have one. Not if I want to eat as well. Yeah, well, unfortunately, I rely on my social media presence to sell my product. And so they have me a bit over a barrel that other people are not over or not under, you know? I mean, the worst thing that can happen to other people is they lose friends. If I do it, I lose food. And food is essential. Anyway, I learned my lesson, and that is, and so I just no longer have an opinion. Anyway, and that is exhausting for somebody like me, who, of course, is full of opinions. Anyway, Sherry, hello, and welcome, my dear. And okay, so obviously, I've got the Inktense out because I'm itching to use them. I'm going to uncover this stuff in layers. Hang on, I'm getting there. Oh, there it is. Okay, so that took care of the glare. If I get some black in there. All right, so see there's the glare. Oh, go away, glare. All right, there are my Inktense. Lovely 2 layers. Recommend them highly. Okay. Oh, there's something black again. We're doing well. I'm going to color this. But I also wanted to show you this. I made substantial I've made progress on this drawing. It's nowhere near done, but just so you can see that I am working on it. That's all you get to see of that one. And here is the fess up part. Somebody landed this beautiful book on my front porch this week. I believe it arrived on Tuesday. Elizabeth, hello and welcome, my dear. And it did not have an Amazon card with it, so I don't know who to thank. So if somebody sees this, please know that I love this book, but I don't know where it came from. Melody, oh, I'm so happy to see you, my dear. And I sent you a message last night. I hope you got it. Oh, thank you, Daryl Lynn. Thank you. I am having fun with this, and it's coming to me in little bits and pieces. That's sorry. That's how I need to settle down, Christine. Settle down. I sort of sit and stare at it until it tells me what it wants next. In the meantime, I'm trying all sorts of different things that I'm erasing here and there. But, each time I get an element that I'm really happy with, then I ink it. And then I work out the rest of it. So I'm glad that you like it. And hopefully, I need to turn off that autofocus. So I don't know who, back to what I was actually talking about. I don't know who sent this book, but isn't it gorgeous? And of course, we've seen a lot of people coloring it. Oh no. Well, I have a happy place here for you, Melody. You just stick around right with me, and I'll make those nightmares go away, or give you a whole new set of them, whichever the case may be. Tonya, hello. And so I know that everybody has seen 97 flip throughs of this new book. So I won't subject you to another flip through. I will tell you two honest things. I have no idea how to color Kerby Rosanes. And two, I am learning from tutorials. So all the people that are coloring in this book now and posting videos, like for instance, Julie Bouvet, who is Julie's passion for coloring, apparently I've got the blue, did this, and it is freaking amazing, everybody. Absolutely amazing. She made the eye like glass, which means that she actually colored in an iris, or an iris is a pupil. Hello. And then and then made the whole if you haven't seen it, go watch Julie's Passion for Coloring. I think she did it last week. It is absolutely incredible. She's got 35,000 followers. She deserves every one of them. She is absolutely fantastic. So hello, Leah. Nice to meet you. And wow. And yes, and Zucchini Kitty. Sorry, Zucchini Kitty. Karen. She did this week, and she did it with the Tim Holtz inks and Prismacolor pencils, and it also is another one. At first, I'm like, what is she doing? Because she was using all these muted shades, but then she put this gorgeous, like bright, the broken china color of the Tim Holtz behind it all, and it gave this glow, and all those muted colors just popped up off the page. Karen is a genius. She is so good with light, with leaving the parts uncolored that should be. So she uses hints of color to say or to speak volumes. It's a different kind of coloring, and it's so amazing. She does wonderful work in Hannah Carlson as well. So, Julie is more straight coloring, but good technique, good light and dark contrast, really excellent control of her pencils. And Karen is learning to use the absence of color to the greatest effect, or the use of limited color to greatest effect. Because if you look at a lot of her coloring, it's only two colors, maybe three tones of two color families, and just amazing effects. So there's just so many different kinds of coloring out there. Once I get started, and then then you've got Sammy, who's just a master with anything. I mean, if Sammy touches it, it's going to be gorgeous. Well, hello, Sue Thomas, the artistic chameleon. Good to see you. And Barb Sanger, and yeah, Barb, me too. I'm like, which one do I start with? Dee is working on this one, Dee Willingham, and she's doing, she's got the weird colors to me. They're like purple and chartreuse green, and yet it seems to be working in an odd sort of way. I'm going to wait until she finishes it. It's not how I would have colored it, but it's her work always. I always go, what is she doing? And then it's always spectacular. So, and of course, Dee will show you how to just paint stuff out. If you don't like it, just paint stuff out and turn it into something else that you want. And you know what? That is absolutely allowed. You are allowed to do that. You are allowed to not have. Yeah, isn't that amazing? That is an amazing picture. Well, look at this one, Jill. They're all like this. It's like, what do you want to color first? Dee also is working on this one, which I just think is so intimidating. Not only is it an octopus, which of course is one of her favorite things to color, but it's got instead of tentacles, it's got all these little huts. So you got to choose. Do you color them all the same? Are they all different? Where are the shades and shadows? It's just amazing. Now, I am only, so far, the only Kerby. Oops. You'll notice that I might actually have them all. Well, that's not true. I don't have Phantomorphia, and I don't have Geomorphia. And I don't know why, other than the fact that I didn't get them. But Mesomorphia is probably my favorite until this one. This one I love. I absolutely adore this book. Where is the one that I'm coloring? Is it in here? Is it Anamorphia? Oh, sorry guys. No, it's Imaginomorphia. So this is the one that I'm coloring now, and as you can see, I started it with Inktense, and I didn't like it. So now I'm doing it in pencil. This is all Prismacolor, and I like it much better. So, but of course, Prismacolor is slow going, and I didn't start this until just a couple days ago. Started to go over this because I was not happy with how it was turning out. So I'm much happier with the Prismacolor part, and I'm really looking forward to coloring this. Maybe we'll, I don't know. Maybe we'll just continue looking at and talking about this. All right, so there are, if you go on Pinterest or Instagram, there are tons and tons of colored images of this. This is something that I really want to color, but not just yet. And there are tons of colored ones, and I am going to use one of those as a lesson. I'm going to use it like a tutorial. Obviously, I can't do it on screen because I could do it on screen, just using that person's example. I just have to, I couldn't show their photo, but I could color it like them or try to color it like them. But like this is just so intimidating, and yet so it makes me want to color it. But how? I don't know. Do you use color? This is where I get confused. I know how to color this part. This is a scene. I know how to color that. But do I do that in realistic colors and then do all of this in, say, just two colors only, or maybe one color family only, like make it all varying shades of gold, or so that it would be, or browns or something like that. Yes, Mama Fruit Bat did the city and the tree. Yeah, and there's where is that one? I know which one you mean. There. She did this one, yes? Anne! Hello! Hello, Melinda. Yes. I'm still looking for the person who sent me this book, please. I love it. It arrived, but I don't know who to thank because it didn't have a gift card. Yeah, we were talking about you, my dear. Oh no, hang on. I got disconnected from chat, everybody. So hopefully it's gonna connect again. I hope you can hear me. But we were just talking about the fact, Anne, that you had done this picture. I think it was either this one or not it. Okay, so not it. Thank you, Melinda. Not that one. All right, I watched you do it, or not watched you do it, but I was aware that you were doing it. And this is the one that Sammy is working on right now. I know. And this one. Is this it? No. The tree trunk with the dome is the one. The tree trunk. Oh. I know which one. Yeah, because it's the one that I'm tempted to start with because it looks the easiest. Actually, I think I'm going to start with one of these. I think I am going to start with one of these. But I know. Okay. Or I was going to start with this one or this one. It's like I want to color them all. Or one of these because I have an idea for how to do these. And I might as well show it to you. As I want to see if somebody, I'm going to see if I can find if somebody did that one. I know Kenny said she was working on this one, but of course Kenny doesn't do it online and she doesn't post her pictures that I know. So I wonder what it looks like. And I'm tempted to start with this one as well because I think it's so cool. with each ant carrying a leaf with a a building on top. I like this. I really do. Uh, Hang on, we're going to get to more koi fish. Of course, he always puts two of these beautiful koi fish. And of course, there's always a gajillion colorings of them, and they're always just absolutely amazing. These are interesting. The two bunnies with the households living inside of them. I just think that's funny. And okay, wait. Oh, I'm also tempted to start here. But on the other hand, here's the crab with the sloth. It's like, it's so hard. You started the shoes, but hit a snafu. Oh, well, hopefully I'll be able to help. You're using Inktense on that, right? On the other hand, isn't this one gorgeous? And of course, I've got a gajillion ideas. These are water lilies and water tulips of some sort with whales in them. Uh, it's okay. So those we talked about. This I love. Somebody colored this on Pinterest, and it's breathtaking. Absolutely breathtaking the way they did it. And then there's the cobra that is actually the train, morphs into the train. Kerby really did a good job. This was not a fulfill a contract book. This was a, ooh, I have really been inspired book. And I can recognize the difference because my books are the same as well. When I'm being pushed, my art looks a certain way. When I'm inspired, it looks like something else. How do you paint something out? With acrylic paint. Literally, Daryl Ann. Hang on. Daryl Ann. Sorry, Daryl Ann. Literally with acrylic paint. Black acrylic paint. Only you use matte. Don't use this because this is not good for painting stuff out. Use matte finish, which is just basically your deco art craft paint. Anything that does not have sheen. You can't have anything with, well, actually you could, but you wouldn't be able to color anything on top of it. But if you paint it out with matte black paint, you can then use colored pencils to put something over it. And a master at how to do that is Dee Dee Willingham. You can also see Sammy do it, but I haven't seen her do it for a long time. She had one that she worked on in Pop Manga. I think it was Pop Manga. Does anybody remember when she did the ice cream girl and we talked her into using an olive green color on the background and it just didn't work. And so she painted out all the pencil and used pink, a couple of coats of pink acrylic paint, and then put bubbles in over the top of it. And it was just amazing. So, hello, here in my head. Oh, okay. Melody, I mean, I speak up, obviously, if you want to, but sleep. Absolutely sleep when you need to. Because we know you. We know that you either are getting too much or too little. I want you to strike a nice balance, up or down. Use white matte. Yes, exactly. Exactly. White matte paint will do wonders. And if you don't like something, like for instance, if you're coloring in a Kerby book and you don't like all those little gigas that that he puts in, like his first book, I think his first book was Anamorphia, right? And so let me find one like this. You don't like this stuff? Let's say you only want to do the ones up to right here. Pick a spot, paint them out. Pick a different spot to end and paint them out. You don't have to, you don't like this? Paint it out. There's no rule that says that you can't alter your coloring book. You can do all of that kind of stuff. The white, yeah, okay. See, there's the koi fish again. And, but all of it, this is, I'm glad that he stopped doing this, because even I don't want to do this. And I do this stuff for a living. I don't want to complete the zebra stripes with doodles. It's like, I want to color in your books, Kerby, not draw in them. Although, for the benefit of those who didn't see it, but I know that most of you have, I am not averse to drawing things in books. Drawing my own stuff. So y'all know that this picture, where is it? This picture in the book, when Ari drew it, there was the table and all the stuff that's on the table and the little girl and the duck with their chairs. But all this stuff, the windows, the paintings, the clock, the flooring, all of that I drew in. So this is an example of adding to, or, and then I don't think I've ever subtracted from a book yet, but I've certainly, I'm just trying to find the picture of what this looked like before I altered it. Because there it is. So that's what it looked like. So there was just, whoops, how about the autofocus? Let's turn the autofocus back on, Christine. Duh. There we go. So, oh, for heaven's sakes. Man. Oh, I feel like Dee Dee trying to get it to focus. Stop it. Stop it. We're going to turn the, yeah. All right, but I think you can see that it had nothing behind it. So anyway, so that was, you can do that. And I'm going to do it in some of the other ones too, that although I think that's the only book that has, or that's the only drawing in the book that had quite that much blank space behind it. This is horrible. The nesting dolls. I'm not quite sure, but I know that Shara, I know that was it this one that you bought because you love the nesting dolls? And okay, I keep looking for the city. The pterodactyls in, with the space wings. See, I listen. I listen, Shara. And anybody that's here that I did not say hi to directly, please know that I say hi to you. Hi and welcome. I love these. Absolutely love these. Of course, I'm from Nevada, and bighorn sheep are our thing. I'm not from there originally, but you know what I mean. These are, of course, the two most popular drawings in the book. Lots of people have colored them, and I believe that it's because they make sense to people. So of all of the pictures that Kerby draws, I think this one appealed to people the most because it makes the most sense to their brains. So whereas everything else sort of requires stretch. and I missed it. I don't know where it is. It wasn't this one, was it? No. So, okay, there's the city on the back. And it wasn't this one. Huh. Here. Oh, well, anyway. But I love this. But I really can. I can hardly wait to color in it. And I think that everybody should. I do think I'm going to start with this. Oh, it was that one. I thought it was. But then somebody said no. See, I was right the first time. I was right. It is this one. Making sure that, or this one, right? You can make the, yes, Chuck's, exactly. Exactly. Because I know that you love to do trees like this. And so I when I looked, I said, oh, this one's the one that Anne is going to do. Anyway, I love this book. Who do I thank for it? That is the only thing I need to know. It's Melinda. Was it you? I'm asking you point blank. It was you. Looking for an answer. I'm looking for another because I think that it was you. That yes belonged. No, she said not it. So if it wasn't you and it wasn't Shara and Melody, was it you? And oh, Kim, okay. Excuse me. Apologize, everybody. Kim, I hope you feel better. And yeah, it was about, oh, yes, the yes was about Anne's picture. Okay, got it. I love this book. And I'm going to color in it on camera. And well, actually, my friend Sue called me. Sue Curry called me. She bought the other day. She bought the whole Herb Leonard the whole Herb Leonard catalog of coloring books from his website, Prancing Pony Gifts, on Etsy. And it's all the ones, it's those Fairy Nouveau books and all of that. And Sue always surprises me with her choices of coloring books because, she loves beautiful art, but we don't always love the same kind of beautiful art. And, but so she surprised me when she bought the Herb Leonard catalog, and I wanted it, but of course, it's more money than I can spend with shipping and all of that. And he doesn't sell on Amazon. So, but Sue saw my comment that I had always loved Herb's work. And now I know if you don't want to buy the catalog, he does or did, and he was the featured artist in Coloring Heaven. Coloring Heaven. Yeah. The magazine out of the UK, 1 month. And so they featured all of his very best drawings. And so that is how I own some of I have to think of her name. Anastasia Ellie Koldariva's work is because she was in Coloring Heaven magazine, and it had all the drawings of hers that I really, really loved, the dragons. So that was an easy, because here in the United States, if you just want to buy a single issue, it's $12, and that includes shipping to the US. So to me, $12 for a book of art that I really want by a particular artist is a great deal. And that was this one, the dragons in nature special, which was this. Have we ever looked at this? We haven't looked at this for a while, but this was this, and I still haven't colored in this book. Whoops, but there's just nothing about this book that I don't absolutely love. But that is, to me, much more than a subscription to this magazine. I find that, because if you get the subscription, it's fine, it's expensive, but it's, you get everything that they, you get they get their regular publications. I think there are specials that you have to buy separately, but the problem is that you may not like them all, because art is, art is different than a magazine that you read, or that is designed to sell you advertising. In that, especially a coloring book, because if you get 3 in a row that you don't want to color in, you're likely to cancel your subscription. But so when I use something like this, I buy the individuals, even though they're priced slightly more expensive. Excuse me, it saves money in the long run. And I am now, of course, over the weekend, I watched I love Mia Wasikowska as an actress. She's a young girl. And I love Paul Giamatti. And so one of the free movies that YouTube is running is Madame Bovary, which has both of them in it. And I watched it, and I had forgotten what a just horrible tale that is. Oh my goodness. Oh. I'm guessing, but we're going to have some rain. I took all my anti-cough stuff, and I'm still coughing, and so I'm guessing we're going to have rain. Oh, Ellie, hang on. This one. This is it's Anastasia Ellie Koldariva, and I believe she has an Etsy shop. I could be wrong. And I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure she has an Etsy shop. Now, of course, the deal for everybody in the UK is that the Coloring Heaven magazine is only £5 there. Now, I think that equates to about $9 here, maybe a little less, 8 something. Yeah, maybe less than that. I don't know what the exchange rate is these days. And that's something I usually know. Anyway, so I will be coloring in this. I'm gonna do probably. I'm gonna follow Julie's. I'm not gonna use her colors, but I'm gonna use her technique. Julie Bouvet at Julie's Passion for Coloring. Absolutely, if you want to learn absolute wonderful pencil control, or how to apply pencils at different weights. Julie Bouvet at Julie's Passion for Coloring is one of the best, as of course is. Now, I say that based upon two things. One, her camera angle, and the I mean, she does, she, like Sammy, she does the changes out there. There's no sound, and most of the time there's not even any music. But you will be fascinated watching her, and she does it in real time, and she shows you what she's going to do, and she does like a block of it, and then she switched out the pictures, showed you at various stages, because obviously it took several days or several sessions to do all of this, because she colored each individual scale, and yes, and I mean, the blending and she goes in hard. uh she's a really good person, yes, and she's never uttered a word. That's it, Elizabeth. It's that kind, well, you know, and yeah, and she colors not complicated art, really. She colors a lot of uh of what? Oh, Joanna Bassford, hello, the reigning queen. uh, Still the reigning queen. Uh, and but she teach. If you, it's just fascinating. She's another one who uses the absence of a color. She still colors over it, but she uses light to color. Light, like white light, and and that, in order to get the white to show, you have to know how to put the color, and that's what you learn from Julie. You learn how to put the color down, and that it's, yeah, and also from Karen. Karen, you got to watch closely, because she's so good that you find yourself looking at her results more than her technique. But if you study her technique, it's so good. It's just, and that is just, like I say, that is just one kind of coloring. And then you have a different kind of coloring. Like most of Sammy's, well, actually, all of the work of all of these guys, pretty much the whole page is covered with color, but sometimes it's only a colorless blend over it, and it's, uh, I know nothing. I know nothing compared to these ladies. Absolutely nothing. Speaking of the nothing that I know, let's exercise some of what I don't know on this particular drawing. Although I am going to go grab another cup of coffee, only because I was short. I realized that I was short coffee, and so I poured my last cup and brewed a new pot. But I need to go get it. So we're going to get started at coloring in just a second. But for right now, I got to go feed the dragon. Just is that okay with everybody? Okay. I'll be right back. I wish I could turn on some music or something for you to listen to. Talk amongst yourselves. I'll be right back. Okay. Sorry about that. Took an extra 10 seconds because I dumped sugar on the counter, and you know what happened if you do that, right? You end up attracting little creatures that you don't really want in the house. Okay, so where to start and why? I think I'm going to start on this particular flower right here, and this flower is going to be pink. So I'm going to start with some fuchsia and with a little bit of the deep rose, and we will see what we can get. Okay, so whoops, let's go down here. And once again, Inktense are, wait, I'm a brat. Wait, make sure you have, wait. You sent me a message on Messenger. Have you checked your PayPal? I have not, Melody. Do I need to? I have not actually checked my PayPal, Melody. And I can't do it right this very second. But I will when the I'm confused. Okay, I will. Oh, Melody, what did you do? And whatever it was, thank you. I have not, but I will. And yes, I did send you a message on Messenger to say, hi, how are you? I haven't, I said that the world has just gone crazy, and I hope that everything was okay where you are. Hi, Mary. How are you? And hi, Pat. And okay, see, now I got all discombobulated. Okay. Blah, 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 blah. Am I in focus? It looks like I'm in focus, and I think I've got okay lighting and all of that kind of good stuff. Okay, so let's do this. Let's go up from the bottom. And once again, Inktense is a water-based medium, so I'm going to be using some water. But I'm going to try to employ a little bit of Karen's technique of the, absence of color. I don't know how successful I am going to be at it because, I have a tendency to use a lot of color, which is, I think, one of the reasons why I love Karen's work so much is because I don't understand quite how it works. So, I want to understand. I want to understand how to do it because I think it's a beautiful way to color. And I'm just adding hints of color in the darkest because this fuchsia is my darkest shade. So, and Inktense is an interesting medium. On this, I suspect, now the reason why I went on the inside on both of these is because to me, this little petal is tucked under the ones on either side. So that's why I did that. And let me, that's what I've been trying to do. I've been trying to bring up the camera controls. There we go. And let's see here. Oh, how about some nice focus? And there we go. So I'm just adding hints of color And Shara, what was it that you think that you did to mess up your picture? And how can I help you to fix it? We do, Mary. Meet Gary. Mary, meet Gary. Gary is a wonderful, wonderful guy, lives in the UK, and he is probably one of the very best friends. I mean, he's the guy you want with you in the when you're scared and lost in the dark. That is who Gary is. That about cover it, Gary? In addition to that, he's a dragon slaying hero, and I love him. Y'all thought I forgot, didn't you, Gary? All right. Yep, the foxhole kind of guy. He's also the guy you want with you if people are not keeping proper social distancing from you, because he will be in their face. Uh, all right, so I'm just adding. Now this is the deep rose, and I'm just adding a little bit of this. And of course, Inktense spreads. It won't remain in these lines. And once again, this is for those, if you are new to Inktense or you haven't seen it, you have to wait for the magic, because the magic will happen. And then you'll go, oh, I see what that's about. And sometimes if you're too light with your pigment, you'll end up leaving your pencil marks. But in this particular case, I think that that's going to work for me. It's an effect that I'm going for. And it's new to me. So we'll see how it works. Because, I'm all about the experiment. I like to try things. And what's the worst thing that can happen? Worst thing that can happen is I don't like it. And I end up having to fix it, which is perfectly fine. By the way, for those of you who might be new to my channel, I am a page turner. I do ask that you bear with me on that, because I don't know how to not do it. I do it when I draw. I turn the page so that I can get the angled, because of course the things that I draw require me to have a steady hand, um, straight lines, stuff like that. So I do adjust the page angle so that I can get the best uh, angles for me. Okay, so now this is a water brush, and I do not have a paper towel, so I'll just have to use my watercolor drop cloth there. I'm sure my grandmother would roll over to know that I was using her little hand embroidered kitchen giga to to absorb excess ink off a brush, but there are things that get outdated. And my grandmother was 97 when she passed, just shy of her 98th birthday, and she had these since she married my grandfather, so they were already 70 years old, 77 years old when she died. So And there's no way that I am going to be using linen. If it isn't a paper towel or a paper napkin, it doesn't want to live in my house. Come on. Washcloth napkins? Are you kidding? Not happening. Now, this will look like this. It looks like it's all blending together, but once it is dry, you'll once again see the lines of hopefully demarcation. And I hope that we'll have preserved some of that light in the middle. I should be a little less glib here and a little more concentrating on what I'm actually doing. See, if Karen were doing this, that would be stark white. But, or maybe not. Well, I let that go a little too long. With Inktense, if you let it go too long, it'll form a harsh line. But that's okay, because you can fix that later. Or you can use a little bit of pigment from another place on the page and fix it now. Wipe off whenever you get a little too much pigment on your brush. Hopefully, once it's dry, that light will still be there. Although I'm starting to doubt that I did these first two petals well. Although they're not bad. They're not bad for a first effort. I'm moving this so that I can get to these other two. Going down. So I want to get the top, because I want that blend to be fairly smooth. Then I can go down here into the dark. And if I need to bring it up just a tad, I can. Now you can layer Inktense. So you're not stuck with a final result. You can layer it on top, but you have to wait for your page to dry first. Okay, you tried some colors on the signs that I saw on an amazing pic of the same page, and it just didn't work. But of course, I didn't test a small section first. Yeah, you exactly. And that's the thing about acrylic paint is you can actually paint out stuff that you colored that you don't like. And Jill, my friend Jill B, who is here, she has some absolutely wonderful pictures that she has done where she has corrected errors that uh, that she perceived, but done it with with what, browns, darker colors, or changed a whole area to black instead of the detail that was there. And it works because those are some of the most striking projects that she's completed. And so you just never know. That is the magic of art. Sometimes what you perceive is a mistake is actually art's way of working magic. That is sort of a phrase that I just really love. And I've never heard anybody else say it, in that way. That, you know, but I don't know that I actually am the first one to say that. All right, so we are not going to know about this until it dries. So we're going to move on to a new one, and this one is we're going to do the same thing, only we're going to do it in oranges and tangerines. So I'm going to use a burnt orange, a tangerine, and a golden yellow. Ooh, I am so good at actually choosing my colors. But you know me, this is my Fiesta palette. This is my go-to palette on pretty much everything. Are my pinks, my oranges, my chartreuses, and my turquoise blues. It is a color palette that I particularly like, and so that's what I go with, especially on things like flowers, because I love my flowers. So what I'm doing here is I'm just darkening up these particular lines. I'm not being super light with this pigment. This is the burnt orange. Yeah, and so I'm trying to use it in the spots that are somewhat darker. That would be a lighter shade, but this down here on this would be the darker green, or would be the darker of the colors. Because this is, oh, thank you, whoever that was. This is actually deeper. Oh, Cheryl, was that you buying this page? Does anyone? Yes, you can use anything on top of Inktense. Inktense is just a water-based ink. Just a water-based ink. So yes, Darylyn, you can use anything in the world on top of Inktense. You can draw on top of it. It's not wax. It's literally it's ink. It's ink in pencil form, water-based ink. So just like the same stuff that comes out of, well, not the same stuff, but that comes out of your water-based markers, your Crayolas, and Crayola markers and all of that. It's a slightly better pigmented ink, but yeah, it's just the same stuff. To me, it's just a lot more controllable. Okay, so now we're going to add some brightness, and I just want to add a hint of the brightness of this tangerine, because I am in fact going to be adding some other colors here, including a darker color. So, and I learned over here that is a lot of pigment. As light as I was, it was still an awful lot of ink pigment. And so it's drying pinker than I want it. I mean, it's drying fine, but it's darker than I wanted it to be. And so I'm going to try using a little less pigment over here and see if that helps. And I'm also going to add some darker shade over here. And it always looks like heck until you make magic with it. So, only way I can describe Inktense. Inktense are like making magic. I love Inktense. And see how I was able to blend that up just a little bit with this lighter color. It's just a really short pencil stroke. And of course it does not bleed through. This is 110-pound cardstock. But even if it was just a regular paper, it wouldn't bleed through. I'm going to add just a tiny bit of the burnt orange just to those. Not even pressing hard, just the tiniest bit. Because I want this to be primarily yellow. So this is the sun yellow. Sorry, I've switched colors again on you. So I want this to be primarily sun yellow up here, pretty light. And adding it just a bare whisper. I mean, really just a bare whisper across the page, just letting the pencil weight lay down a tiny hint of the color, not pressing it all, because I just want the yellow to be a hint of the color. And I apologize that I'm not paying close attention. Well, Inktense doesn't make a 200 set. The biggest set is the 72 that I know of, and then there are just a very few extra colors that are available in the. I think there's like 7 extra colors total that are available between 2 pan sets. And hang on, I can show you what these are the pan sets here. This is a little travel set. So you can buy Inktense in many forms. You can buy it in pencils. You can buy it in blocks, which are basically sticks that you would use a water brush with. Or you can buy them in, well, I don't think you can buy the whole 72 set in pans like this, but these are basically just little short blocks of Inktense. So I had in here, actually in my book, where is it? It's got to be, okay, here's the Derwent travel set. And this comes in the thing, but trying to remember. Okay, so the colors that are not in the 72 set are the mango, which is just basically another Linda, okay, have a good nap. Oh my goodness, you have to work in 4 hours. Have a good nap and have a good work, and have a good week, my dear, and super hugs, and and share. Okay, and the dark plum. I think I want to say the mid ultramarine is not in the set, or not in the 72. The racing green, the kiwi, and the burnt yellow ochre. So there are some colors definitely here that are not in, and there's two travel sets. There's this one, which is one of the first ones. This one is the first one, and then there is a second one. I don't have it, but I have only ever used this for for just a demonstration. So I haven't yet found any colors that I can't make here with my 72 that I need. So I wanted a travel set so that I could theoretically go out with just, nothing more than that travel set and not have to carry around this whole tin of stuff. Because you can make, no, you can't buy Inktense separately, unfortunately. But that's okay, because you know what? You will never in your lifetime use up a set of Inktense. Your grandchildren will be using your Inktense. I mean, you all know how much I color with my Inktense, right? Look. They'll last forever, I'm telling you. I use my Inktense all the time. It is quite possibly the best value for a coloring buck that I have ever seen. All right, so now let's see what we come up with as far as magic. Yes, no, you can't buy the pan separately either. You can only buy the two sets. Okay. Oh, I was going to add a dark, sorry, not quite ready. I wanted to add a brown. And I want it to be the willow. No, I don't. I want it to be the baked earth. Okay, so the baked earth is essentially like a terracotta. And I just wanted it down in the darkest spots, which would be down here at the base. And just sort of very lightly in a couple of other little spots. Mostly I wanted it right in there. This one not so much because the light's hitting it from the outside, but this one here is getting the shadow of this petal, plus it's to the inside. So also right in there, which would then cast a bit of a shadow up. Those are just some initial details. Hopefully, I mean, I always say that I'm going to go with this in one stroke, one coat. And that's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to get to a one layer process. But Inktense is a multi-layer coloring medium, so you can add as many layers as you want, but be sure to let them dry in between the layers. Now, the appeal of Inktense, by the way, what makes it different is that than watercolor, and why you might choose it over watercolors is because it is permanent. Once it is down and dry, it can't be lifted again. It can't be moved. As a matter of fact, it can't be lifted at all, wet or dry. But usually, if you are working with watercolor and you add more water, you can lift it off the page or lighten it up, but you can't do that with Inktense. So now I'm going to correct the problem that I had the first time. I am actually going to wipe off that excess pigment before continuing on. There's still pigment there to be dissolved, but I won't have all that was on my brush as I go up. I'm wiping off again. And then doing the same thing. Pulling up. As long as it's wet, you can still get it to thin out a bit, but yeah, I'm doing much better with this one. Much more the effect that I was going for. You don't need to squeeze your, if you get a good water brush, you don't need to be squeezing it. The water will flow. This particular one is just sort of I bought it from it's called Aquanaut US Pro Supply, but I mean, there are just a gajillion water brush makers. And so you just have to find one that you like and that works for you. Just like different pencil mediums, there are water brushes for everybody. No one size fits all. And they all do the same thing. They distribute water. See, and you can also, if you've got too much pigment on a page and not enough somewhere else, you can also use it to fill in other places, or you could use it here to say even out that blend a little bit. So I like the way that worked. Blick Cult Pens, Cheap Joe's, etc. Oh, thank you, Darylyn. Jerry's on, yeah. Yeah. Oh, you can. Oh, cool. Okay. That's wonderful. I did not know that. Okay, so hi, Libby. By the way, hi, Libby. Oh, excuse me. I've forgotten what coffee cup I'm drinking out of. I've got one on the, I have two full cups. One is on the Keep It Hot little thing that Susie sent me, and the other one is getting cold as it's sitting on my desk. But if I don't drink out of the Keep It Hot one, it gets that awful, because I put cream and sugar in it. Does anybody have that where it gets that scum across the top? Makes me go, ick. Nobody wants to drink scummy coffee. Oh, goodness. Okay, 3:30. All right, so I still have half an hour. I was going to say, Cal, you can't be on yet. Time just can't move that quickly. Come on. Although I did yak it up for about, what, an hour? While we talked about the Kerby Rosanes books. Speaking of which, if anybody who has come in since I started the stream and didn't see me ask, please tell me if you were the kind soul that sent me this beautiful book. And if you were, you don't have, send me you don't have to pass up here, but send me a private message or an email or something so that I know it was you. Although I confess I have not checked my email all week. I don't check my PayPal account. I haven't checked my email. I've been I've been so busy not having an opinion that for me, not having an opinion in social media is very much like spending the day with my hands around the edge of my desk, gripping as hard as I can with my keyboard unplugged. That's that's how I have to spend my day. Hello, Static Shock. Welcome, welcome. Uh, okay. So now we have those. Let's do some leaves. I'm a little happier with the way this one turned out. We're getting a little lighter. See, as it's drying, we're getting a little bit lighter. Uh, I like the way the light sort of plays off that. Not, irregular, not a smooth, unjagged line. Much more, type of natural, which is what I was looking for. Okay, now do that. And we're going to grab some fern green and some, let's see. I don't know why they bother putting all those other colors in there. I like the fern green for leaves, and the leaf green and the light olive. So we will go with the light olive here at the bottom. At the darkest spot. And I did put a fair amount of color down. And I'm also going to put a little bit, just a little bit of a line of dark chocolate under there. Just sort of fade it out a tiny bit so that that looks more like a shadow. And then I'm going to put I want the lighter of the two, which is the fern, I believe. So I want the fern down here. And just a tiny, tiny bit coming out there. Now I can use the leaf green to just come down sort of one side of the space. And I'll also use the leaf green. Whoops. This is the leaf green. The fern is the lightest. Ironically enough, the leaf green is just that, leaf green. And these two, I'm not leaving any white on, simply because there's a brown again, chocolate brown, back there in that dark recess. And the leaf green, which is the medium tone. And the fern, which is the lighter tone. And I'm just hinting at it right there. Okay. Just a little bit down the edge, trying to leave that sort of center there. Now, I want the leaf green again for here, because this one also is underneath. And down the center, just super, super light. This is the light green again, the burn. Okay. So that is all the pigment I think that we need. As I'm getting, I have no idea what I'm doing, guys. I really don't. I am making it up as I go along, but I think I sound like I know what I'm talking about. For your camo chucks, are they? Okay, good. Well, in that case, then you know. Yeah, these are, yeah, they're perfect shades for each other. And I am only brushing in one direction. And now I'm brushing in the opposite direction. But I'm trying to keep my strokes as long as I need them. And rather than just, washing it all over with color, I'm actually trying to control the water flow and use what Inktense does, which is to sort of soak into the page, excuse me, and become harder to move before I move on to the lightest area. So that way I get a better chance of actually having the contrast that I'm trying to build actually stay. Now, this does not look green on my screen. I hope it looks green on yours. My color correction is off here. I think I'll just leave it alone. I think I'll just leave it alone. Maybe it's the white balance. Maybe the white balance is off. Well, might be a little bit better. Just please know that my screen is showing much greener than it appears on my monitor. So I hope it's looking green and not like pea green where you are. Or, oh, baby poop green, Never mind. Ooh, and I love the way that the brown and that leaf green work together. That is such a wonderful combo. The chocolate brown and the leaf green. Wiping off because I want to preserve the light. Wiping off. Now bringing it down. See, but even that slight pause to wipe off, I can still see that line there. Of the stop and the start. So on the one hand, they work like they really, they're really wonderfully manipulatable, and on the other, they work just like a water marker where you're going to end up with streaks in it if you're not careful. So let's see. Yeah, I just can't seem to get that color to. Oh wait, maybe. Can't seem to get that color to show up quite right on my camera today. Okay. So now, what else can I? Oh, when I do this, and I should probably do it sort of overall, but there's going to be a couple of different colors. This pot is going to be I don't know what the pot is going to be. I do know what it's going to be. I do know what it's going to be. It is going to be, I want to do it like a leopard, like a leopard with spots. You know, that color scheme. Maybe. We'll see. We'll concentrate on. Do I want to? Because I want to show you. Do I have time? 43. Yeah, I have 15 minutes. All right, let's do this. And this is what I mean about you don't have to pay attention to the individual dots. Okay. So let's go with. Let's actually consult our color scheme before I go any further. There is a time for our, yeah, willow is the color I want. I want the willow, I want the saddle brown, and I want the amber. Okay, the willow. The amber, that is the madder brown. I don't want that. I want the saddle brown. Okay, and golden yellow, and yeah, and probably a little bit of burnt orange. Is that right? Baked earth? Baked earth. Okay, that'll do. Oh, and I'm probably going to want the dark chocolate as well. Okay. So we are down here. We're gonna pull out just a tad, because vases and large objects are intimidating. I don't care who you are, they are. And so I'm just adding a little bit. I'm just being messy, actually, of dark pigment down here at the bottom, because it's sitting on a table or something, right? And I'm also going to add a bit of dark pigment here on the edges, because they're over there. They're covered up by a bunch of stuff, right? Assuming the light's coming from somewhere over here, this area would be away from it, so it can be the darkest. Okay, and then this can be the lightest. So now we're going to start with say the willow color, and here we are going to leave a harsh line. No, actually we're not. We're not. We're going to do that here. I'm going to use the lightest shade, or the yellow, and I'm going to mark out right here an area that is going to be the absolute lightest, right? So now that I've marked that out, I know where it is, and I know how to place the rest of my colors. So that is going to be the place where the light is beaming off of this sort of round shape. And now I can go in with my willow. Willow is the dark one. Okay. And work my way up just a little. And I have no idea if this is going to work or not. This will definitely take more than one layer. If you are using Inktense, this is going to be a layering project as far as when you do large objects. And the reason is because Inktense by its very nature is intended to give you a little bit of variation. It's not intended to be super smooth lay down of color like an alcohol marker. So you are going to want to work this in layers, and as you let each one dry, you'll see where you might want to add some more color or touch it up or do something like that. And so now these areas in here will be the darkest. And you might say, well, Christine, if you're coloring that like a tiger or not a tiger, but a leopard, why are you using brown and not? I've got the gold and yellow, but if you study a tiger or a leopard, you'll notice that it is predominantly brown. It's the light that plays off it that make you think it's orange or yellow. But it is predominantly brown. And certainly in the dark spots. And then we can go in and add definition or whatever to our polka dots. Or if you want to color this as a red pot with yellow polka dots, then you go for that. Because it is your coloring and it is completely up to you what you want to do. When I color or when I draw something, I honestly do not see it as a colored project. I draw it in black and white to the point where I like it. Then at the point where I start to color it, it becomes somebody else's work, and now I am just learning to color from it. And so I don't go into my drawings with a vision of what they're going to look like colored. I let you guys tell me what they're going to look like colored, right? So this is the saddle brown. I'm going to come in a little bit with that. Slightly different again. A little bit lighter of a brown. Not worrying about my leaves because just a little bit of the brown on top of those leaves is simply going to be interesting to look at as far as adding some visualness or visual. So I'm just adding a little visualness. It's me making up words again. Okay. So now I can come up this side with this slightly lighter shade. And this is probably going to require a lot of tweaking, but this ought to get us started. But I just want to show you not to be intimidated by large spaces, because so many of us are. Now this is a little bit of baked earth. Now this is the hint of sort of red. And I just wanted to add that in. or not red, but orange. So I want to add that in, a little hint of orange to these darker shades that will help to bring out a more like an auburn effect, because that is the effect that I want. It could be, of course, a blue pot with yellow polka dots, or purple polka dots or purple pot with pink polka dots. Could be any darn thing that you want it to be. So this is actually going to be in my light areas. All right. So I'm going to use the orange in areas that are supposed to be lighter now. Let's see. Now we've got amber. I want to use the amber. Remembering, keeping in mind that I can always go darker, but I can't go lighter. I think I might be starting the amber a little early, all the way over here. But once again, I can always move a darker shade over, but I can't get rid of a darker shade from over here after the fact. So amber is a fairly light shade, sort of a goldy kind of brown. Working it in. Just around the edges. Once again, I'm not pressing hard. Not pressing hard at all. In fact, I'm getting lighter as I'm coming toward the center here. Starting to form my circle around my light spot. And now I've got the golden yellow. Another case where I'm just pretty much letting the weight of the pencil determine how much pigment is going down. Because believe me, that is a lot of pigment. Doesn't seem like it. But it is. You do this the same way with your Prismacolors. Well, maybe better. Once again, I've never done this before, and so I'm just applying the knowledge that I have about how my Inktense work. See, so I'm adding some yellow hints in over here. Just sort of here and there. Oh, look, and I've even got 5 minutes to spare. Yay. Okay, so. Ooh, shall we? Shall we see how I did? Okay, where do I want to start? All right, so we'll start over here. And once again, this is not a one of. There will be lots of layers to this, I suspect. But it is a start on a big area. And I've always found that it makes me feel really good, like I'm actually making progress on something. If I can color a big area and get it out of the way, something big and intimidating. It's like when I like to play Jigsaw World, and which is one of the many Facebook games, and you end up of course I don't ever spend any money on these games. Um, I learned that lesson with Farmville. Oh look, I forgot one of these. Okay, I'll have to go back and get that. um, I never, I, I think I only ever spent $45 on Farmville, and I went, what? What are you doing? Anyway, but I always start uh, with not the ones that are the most intimidating. I start with the ones I don't like the most. Uh, you know, because you have to buy these puzzle packages in blocks, and sometimes you like some of them, and sometimes you buy them because you like most of them, but there's a few that you don't like. So I always start with the ones that I don't like, so I can get them out of the way. And I'm the same way with coloring. I start with the harder thing first, or try to start with the harder thing first. And that way I feel much more confident when I move on to the easier things, or the things that I'm more comfortable with. And I know that there are people who are probably going to leave right about now. I just want to finish this. As far as getting this wet, and then I will go off. But if there is somebody else who's come on and you would like to go ahead and depart, please know how much I appreciate so much that you did show up today or come and choose to spend some of your time with me today. Uh, and uh, I hope that you have an absolutely wonderful week. I did just squeeze off the brush because it was getting a little dry. And so I'm going to just very lightly bring in. And I can always tweak it. Uh, just try to keep that circular shape, working it toward the center so it gets lighter and lighter as it goes. Yeah, there's not quite enough pigment there, so I'll go back and correct that on the second layer. Squeezing a little more water into the brush. As the brush starts to get less filled with water, the water pressure sometimes doesn't let the valve release as much. So with a couple of my pens, I find that if I don't keep them full all the time, they don't work as well. So that, see, this one's only about half full. So I need to probably go put more water in it. so it keeps an overall consistent flow. But you get the idea here of what I'm going for. I hope. And okay, so that is zoomed out. That's what the problem is. Hey, there we go. Okay. So that is how far we got today on this, and I keep promising. Here's why I can't do the honest truth as to why I have not been able to do a midweek video is because with only myself here to talk to, I have a tendency to say stuff that I should not say. Once again, I'm not allowed to have opinions because I am a public entity with a product to sell, and so therefore I am not allowed to have an opinion. And I have not been able to make a video and find enough interesting things to talk about that I don't like fall off into some rant about something. So that is what is going on with my midweek videos. I do hope that you liked this. Thank you everybody so much for coming today. And once again, to the person who sent me the World Within Worlds, thank you so very, very much. And Melody, I will go look at that now. And Gary, thank you so much for being here. Thank you to all my mods. Thank you to all my fans. Thank you to everybody for making last week one in which I actually was able to eat and pay the phone bill or the internet bill. And just, you guys, you're my saving grace every Sunday. And I just love to come here and color with you and chat with you and do all those kind of good things. So you go off and you color something pretty, okay? And everyone have a good week. Stay sane if you can. And hopefully one of these days we're going to have a normal again. Oh, Mrs. Coffee, I love you. You know that. I honest and truly love you. You're so supportive. You're so positive. You have an opinion but you make such good sense, and even when you don't make sense, you make sense. So please know how much I very much appreciate the idea that you are here and that I get to go watch you as well. And on that note, thank you for that super chat. Yay. All right, I was signing off, wasn't I? Okay, everybody. It has been a wonderful Sunday. I'm so happy to be here. Like I say, you guys are my saving grace. If I didn't have you to talk to, I would go completely over the wall. Over the wall. Bye, everybody. Have a great week. See you next Sunday. I won't make any promises I can't keep on a midweek video, but I will try.